Hello, everybody, and you're very welcome back to the Cult of Cantona podcast, one of Ireland's Manchester United podcasts. We're really excited today. We have Yapstam.
Is that? Do I look like Yapstam?
Well, now that you mention it, I think no.
Does the Yapstam-esque? No.
There's a you kind of.
You'll have to shave your head for us to be more.
Yeah, Joe Joe likes.
I'm a yapper.
Joe likes to yap.
Yeah.
We're really excited. Joe is a huge Manchester United fan. You might know him from his various forays into the entertainment industry. His own podcast with Darren Conway and the TV show on RTE. I know Joe from way back.
Way back when.
Great to have you on the show. Glory, glory, Man United.
Glory, glory, Man United.
Glory, glory, mediocrity for the last 12 years.
Well, I mean...
Not last year, though. Well, yeah, last year.
8?
Well,
it's like almost a definition of mediocrity.
Does the FA Cup win count for anything?
Not if you can't win the Charity Shield.
Probably not finishing
no,
8th as well.
Look, like I said last season, we started this about a year ago. I said I'd be happy with a day out at the end of the season, and I got that.
With the FA Cup final?
Yeah, like something to celebrate and to look forward to.
Yeah,
yeah. So that's important. Joe, I'll just start with kind of asking in general terms about United in your life and what it means to you. How did the love affair begin with Man United, and why United? Or was it a conscious thing? Was it a family thing? Was it like, oh, I like that colour, it's nice thing?
It was a family thing. My ma was the only one that didn't support Man United. She supported Newcastle, and that was simply because she liked the jersey. She liked the stripes. You know what I mean?
She likes the black and white.
The black and white. I'll
go for the stripy team.
Yeah. But I grew up with the Manchester United wallpaper, the Manchester United bed sheets. I can't understand how my dad did that. Yeah. I'm a Man United fan, but I don't think I would go full Man United cups, jerseys, jocks, trousers,
the jerseys
shoes.
Enough. Yeah. You had curtains and everything, did you?
Yeah.
So the white ones with the crosses and
the
stuff.
stripes now. Yeah. I thought I was the only lunatic. I think it's the wallpaper. Imagine going into Jerry Keane's on Talbot Street and seeing Manchester United wallpaper. Like, who even made that? Who came up with the idea to make wallpaper?
Let's paper your wall with,
I think it's a bloody great idea, especially if it was only Manchester United wall. You don't see it now. No, the bed sheets, mate. I don't know. Is it still hard to find Man United bed sheets?
No, I think you still can. I mean, kids usually just get those big decals now, don't they? Where they paint them onto the back of the wall, and and Ronaldo coming through the concrete kind of stuff.
Yeah. That is a lot. That's kind of, I don't know, more aggressive. It's like, Ronaldo coming into your bedroom.
I don't know if I'd want him sleeping or slipping into my bedroom or coming through the wall, especially if it was in Miami and it was late at night. But who was your favourite player growing up, Joe, and why? And your current favourite player, and why?
My favourite player... Is that my phone?
That's Yapstam. He heard we were talking about him.
So don't be comparing me to that.
Off. He looks too much like me. It's not me. I'm off anyway.
The phone will be on because we will have some voice notes from some fans and some listeners of the show later on.
Nice save. Nice save.
Like that? Yeah. I'm about the same height as Fabian Barthez, so yeah.
Hello. Coming in
these are all of the questions coming in for Joe.
Whoa. We've another one in here from Ferguson.
Alexis Ferguson.
D. Ferguson.
Darren Ferguson. I'll delete that one. Hang on. You were saying?
Growing up, my favourite player would have been I'm trying to think, like David Beckham.
Yeah.
Ryan Giggs.
This season so far, you see the match last week?
Against Fulham?
Yes.
Yeah, I seen it.
How do you feel about it?
I didn't think it was... It's hard, isn't it? Because sometimes you look at Man United and you think, oh, they look okay, but then you're like, oh no, they're playing Fulham. They should be doing a lot better than this.
You're right in saying that, but I get a little bit pissed off with that. Like that, because Fulham they're not an awful an awful side.
Well, no.
It's I don't know. Like all Premier League teams now are really hard to play against. You know what I mean? But
there's no easy games. You're dead right.
Yeah, but just United, like it's the United thing, isn't it? Like we just get ostracised, or we just get put down even more. Like a small mistake that most teams will make. Yeah. Right, and that probably make as often as United. But if United make any little mistakes like that, it's just suddenly in the headlines.
Yeah, like,
do you know what I mean?
Like, there's a United tax in more ways than one for United in every capacity. You know, because we're the biggest club in the world, whether they like to admit it or not. In terms of like marketing ability and as a brand, it's a global brand. It's the biggest club in the world for a variety of different reasons. But yeah, it is that thing. It says a lot that our kind of second or third choice midfielder, Fulham are doing everything to try and sign in Scotty.
Fulham are going for
McTominay. Yeah, they put in another bid. They 2 rejected, and they're trying to bid about 20-25 million. And they're trying to push them up.
Should we keep?
I'd love them to stay.
Yeah, I was going to say, should we?
Yeah. I absolutely love Scott McTominay. I think he's one of the best players on the squad.
He seems to care, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's the only one that gives a fuck. Like, honestly, everyone else is just like
and Damo, obviously.
He's of course Damo gives a fuck, but he's come good past 2 seasons. He started playing really well for Scotland. He's really good, big proper threat around the box now as well. Yeah. Great squad player.
Well, what happened last season was West Ham, like they what was it? Man United wouldn't agree a fee with West Ham, so they were icing him out on the bench.
Yeah.
And then when he got his game again, him and fucking fridge head
Casemiro, Harry Maguire,
fridge head,
caravan head.
Yeah, the two of them. God. Like they iced them out on the bench until like the sales fell through, and then they started playing them again. And you can't deny the quality that they have and the passion that they play with. They actually care. They actually care.
Maguire, I have to say, I was at the game last week, and Maguire was forced at every ball. He did a couple of kind of ventured out and kicking the ball away, kind of fucking.
Yeah, he gets excited.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a player, No, you're not a player. Stay where you are.
Yes.
But I have to say, like, there was a lot of positive points from last week. I think that despite the fact that Martinez was playing out of position, I think he wasn't as bad as people were talking about. Mazraoui was, am I saying that correctly? I'm practicing that.
Yes. Mazraoui? So was I.
Maserati.
Mazraoui.
Mazraoui.
Mazraoui. I think it's Mazraoui.
I think Mazraoui was a breath of fresh air, and I was so happy.
He played well.
Happy to hear that. He can play in midfield as well, and he's
right and left back as well, which is like really important for us at the moment with Militia and
really
Shaw.
Excited by it. With De Ligt when he came on, he looked like he could handle it.
I'm excited by the signings, man.
Yeah, I mean, look at
and
City.
the business that they're doing.
You look at City. I mean, City have, and this is the point. If we want to, in my opinion, compete with them, and try and get into that top 2, like we were when Solskjaer was there. Like, we really need to have 2 players of world-class proportions in every position. And I think we're getting closer to that. Not this season, but maybe next season.
We're on our way to it. I agree. We're definitely on our way to it. Like, we still need... It's a left back. We still need a left back.
Yeah.
We do. And there's been a lot of talk about Shaw, like, the bias England thing. Yeah. He forced himself into the England squad and stuff like that. So I still think, we've got Ugarte probably on the way. That's looking good, but we need a left back.
And he's not going to be a left back either. They'll probably play him in a more like attacking midfield. He's always a defensive midfielder.
But I mean, we've got Ugarte coming in, but I'm surprised that we're not currently, like, there's no news. We're currently looking at a left back, and we should be, right?
Is there anybody that you think, Joe, that we didn't go for that we really should be going for to bolster the squad?
Like a left back for sure.
The exact thing we just spoke about.
Any one of them. I think.
Ooh. I think seance. Patrice Evra, can you hear us out there?
Paul Pogba.
Patrice, come back. We can see that you're still fit.
I think it's silly even talking about Ugarte and stuff like that. Like, I don't think that's where we're lacking. I think we're lacking in striking ability. Like, we're getting it up to the front of the field, and then everyone's like, "What the fuck do we do here now?" Like, panicking. Like,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Fucking Bruno Fernandes was playing in a striking role in the Fulham game. Like, he wasn't.
Look at Rashford.
Rashford useless.
That
So
fluff at the end
frustrating.
was just.
He's one of the most frustrating forward players for United that I can remember in recent memory.
Look. Here's the thing as well. I had a chat with a mate about this the other day about Rashford. Right, it's a microcosm that little passage of play with Garnacho when they were trying to feed each other, you know, and it's very kind of him to do that. But like, isn't that why Van Nistelrooy is there? To turn him into that peg gun.
Yeah.
Give me the ball, bang, back of the net.
Yes.
Stop acting the bollocks. Put
Yes.
the ball in the back of the net. And his head is probably gone. He probably has.
His head's been gone for like 6 fucking years. Man.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit like, you know what I mean?
Exhausting.
It's that's what I mean. The most frustrating player.
And the thing about it
Because
is,
we seen him that season that he had. We seen him. He was unplayable.
I really
When he was
didn't-
8, but that's the hunger. When he was 18, he was like, right, this is my opportunity. Like, remember the first time he scored a blatant goal for the first squad? Like,
Yeah.
like this fella is the
the
shit.
real deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's through the academies.
Yeah.
Fucking Manchester boy. All
He's
of
no
that.
Tony Martial, though.
Yeah. Oh God, our Martial. Yeah.
But look, surely that's why Van Nistelrooy is there, to sharpen him up.
But come here, I think you made a really good point there, Joe, as well about the striking thing. Like, you know, like could you make an argument that when we're playing the false 9 and Bruno's the false 9, or maybe Mason Mount's going to be the false 9 again, when they're
He's a false prophet, is what he is.
at the moment he
Yeah,
is. At the
yeah.
moment he is. I'm like he's another player, a frustration player. But you're kind of like when they do play that false 9 role, it looks a solid unit. And defensively, I felt it looked more so a solid unit. Like that setup and that pressing setup seems to be good. But if you have a false 9, Bruno, I don't know. He's not a striker, but he can finish. But do they have the proper number 9 sharpness? Like that's what we need. Do you know what I mean? With Highland gone, is Xerxes the answer?
He's a big guy, Xerxes. I was surprised how big he looked, because I was quite close.
You were there,
I was
yeah.
quite close to the pitch,
yeah.
and he's a big unit. He's 6'4", 6'5".
He's not
he
great.
6'4"?
And he's not renowned for his head.
And he doesn't
man.
look fit. He doesn't look like he was standing beside Rashford, and he looked like not in no way overweight. He's a professional athlete.
Yeah.
But he was
Heavy,
big.
heavy.
Yeah, like the reason, like as I understand why they bought him, is to link up play. They want Firmino type to be in just with flick-ons and that type of thing. He's not going to score his 20 goals a season. He's just not.
No.
He scored 11 for Bologna last season. He's not. But he might get the others going.
I think so.
And be that funnel for Rasmus when he comes back.
Yeah.
You know,
I think the two of them can play together, and he's a bit cheeky on the ball as well. Like his goal was cheeky.
He's a bit
Do you know what
cheeky.
what I
like
mean?
that.
Yeah,
That's
but I like
confidence, though.
that.
That's confidence.
That is
though.
confident, and that's what we need.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
That is
yeah.
what we need. So
That's why one of my in terms of confidence, like Martinez is one of my favourite players. Like, because talk about confidence and old school, giving a fuck about playing the bleeding ball.
And did you see what he did with what's his name for Fulham? He says he sent him to the gym. I sent him to the gym. I love that.
You know, Martinez fears no man.
Yeah.
Or beast.
Yeah.
He's like, and he's about 5'8", 5'9"?
World Cup winner
he's
as well.
How about Jack,
you know?
Jack Russell energy about him?
He's a real winner, lads. You know, the guy's won the World Cup.
I love him. I like genuinely. He represents everything that the club is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
You know, even when he was being interviewed by Keane and Carragher after the match last week, he was like, "No, that's my responsibility. That's what I do. That's what this club is about. You know, that's my job."
Like, that's Roy Keane to a T. Like,
And
that's
you-
pure Roy Keane.
You believe him when he says it, like,
And
you
he doesn't
believe
want the
Keane
limelight.
as well.
Yeah,
Like, he doesn't want the limelight. He's
Yeah.
not there for the fame.
Yeah.
Like, and this Ajax, you know, rejuvenation that we have going.
Yeah, that's it's a bit of a Ten Hag cop out. Well, I won with all of them. Let's bring
Well, I
all of
don't
them
know.
in. You know,
Like, is it any different than any other professions? I don't think so. I mean, look, if you're making a film, you're going to bring people from that you worked with that were good on that film onto the next one, that type of thing. Maybe he's taken it a couple of stages too far, but the only one
Who else is from Ajax? Like,
over the years, Onana, De Ligt, Mazraoui.
I got it there. That's how you say
Yeah,
Mazraoui.
No,
when we weren't Mazraoui or Mazraoui.
Maserati.
I said
Mazraoui.
Hazi,
Pavarotti.
Masai.
Paparazzi.
No, he actually didn't play for Ajax, but the Dutch contingent are people that have played together before. I like it. I like Dutch players, and I like the Dutch league. My sister's married to a Dutch guy. I've been watching Ajax since I was a teenager.
Oh, well, then let's sign more.
Ajax.
I mean, if your missus is... Yeah.
Look, if it's working on the pitch, lads, and if there's positives...
Yeah, I think that they'll be absolutely destroyed if things don't work out, and that, of course, will be the excuse then. But just back to kind of, you know, Man United dream, fantasy football type stuff with you, Joe. You know, how do you feel most importantly about Eric Cantona?
How do I feel about him?
How do you feel about him?
The king.
I think he's a legend. I think he's class.
Yes.
I think the ball that he played and the energy that he had, like the presence, like in terms of like a performance. If you take football out of the equation, like just this charisma is that's the reason why Manchester United is the biggest club in the world. Is because they have these characters. It's not about it's not just about the football. It is about the football and the accolades and all, but it's about the personalities that he brought through. It's about that. It's about Eric Cantona.
Yeah, it's about like as a lad growing up, you know, in a working class area in Dublin, and being a United supporter, and I've like 3 older brothers, and they're all United supporters. That empowered me when I was a kid watching him. I thought, you know, well, he's associated with something that I'm associated with, and it's empowering. It's engaging. It gave me a lift at times.
So I remember even looking at that jersey there. I can't remember the other jersey. I think it was at that season, and it had the faded Old Trafford on it. The red one. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
That was my first United jersey that I got.
Same, yeah.
And I remember seeing Cantona when he had the collar up. I'm not sure if he was wearing that jersey, but remember when he chipped and he just looked around.
That's the one. Yeah.
It was that year anyway.
That when I saw him do that, like I was in the pub watching it with. I'll never forget it. I was watching that and I saw him do that, and the lads, like the hair, like the tingly bit, like you know when you get goosebumps in a film or something, some sort of scene or something. You know, when you're watching it and you're like, oh my god, I got that from him. And he was also one of the first big superstars, wasn't he?
Look, we're talking about a bloke that hung out with Mickey Rourke. You know?
Like what the fuck? You know what I mean?
I kind of think of him as well. He was before my time.
Yeah.
So I don't really remember watching him playing, but like through the documentaries and through the clips and everything, you're looking at it, and it's the legacy that he left is what's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't remember just the generic playing around the field.
Course,
it's the highlights that I recall from clips and stuff.
I have a similar relationship with the likes of George Best, because my dad's a big United fan from the 60s as well. And the way he talked about him is the same way I talk about Cantona. You know? And it's different. Every generation has their player that does that. You know, Van Nistelrooy, Van Persie, whatever it is, a Rooney for younger kids, younger adults now. But yeah, you're right. It is that synonymous character, just someone who just seems to be like an enfant terrible.
He was the missing. He was the missing. He was the missing link, though, wasn't he? Like, you know what I mean? Like when he came in, and then like he was treated differently, but all the other players didn't give a fuck. And you can see when you're looking at interviews of her now, they were like, Eric was treated different because he was different, and he needed to be treated
that what people
way.
do?
You know what I mean?
You know yourself.
Good management.
If you're managing a team or working with a group of people, and you're in a position of authority in any capacity, you know that there's certain things you have to do with certain people to get. You know, I'm not saying you need to go all Stanley Kubrick on them. You know, lock them in a room and throw them in cigarettes or whatever. But you need to know that if you want to get a performance out of people need to be calm, they need to be relaxed, and they need to be on top of it. And Fergie knew that. That's why he's so
Ferguson
good.
was so
people
good at
prepare in different ways, don't they? Like, and I feel like as I said to you earlier before we came on, I was watching the United Way there again the other day, and it was just like it was genius of Fergie to do that, and I'm sure it must have been a surprise to all the other players, because they were all treated so rigidly and so, like, you know, really firmly and all the rest. Then they paid 1 million, but they said it was 1.2 million for Cantona to come in, and then they're all a bit put out by it, but then he's delivering every fucking week on the pitch. Like a maestro, not just delivering, but you're like, holy shit, and
apparently he was loved by the players as well. Like, he'd go out for points and have a laugh. He wasn't a prick. Well, Lee Chapman might say something different because he slept with his wife.
Are you listening, Lee?
A lot of swingers.
Right, let's get back to United today. Bruno Fernandes. How do we feel about Bruno's new role? It's great, new contract. We're all delighted about that. In general, how do you, Joe, feel about Bruno? Do you think he's the right man to lead us forward, or do you, like, based on what you said, he seemed to be?
I don't know. Yeah, it just doesn't. For me, I just don't think he has
the requisite Celtic soul, man.
I just feel like if I was, I don't know him personally, but I feel like if I was on the pitch with him and he was like bossing everyone around, I don't think you'd take him as.
He wouldn't motivate you, you don't think?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know him personally. So I don't know what he's like behind the scenes. I just don't think he has the gravitas in the middle of the field to dictate the play and stuff like that.
He's a genius on the ball, right?
No doubt.
There's no
no
question about his talent is unbelievable. Can he use that to sweat? So you see what you like in the sense that you've seen what I can do here, lads. I'm a really talented, good footballer. Not that he'd approach in that way, but can he use that to lead the side as a leader?
It should be
rather than just telling people off or whatever it's going to be.
I think the egos in Manchester United. If you're playing for Manchester United, you are incredible, and every single individual has a massive ego. And to be the captain of all of those egos, I just don't think he has that
character to do that.
If he takes a shot when he has an option to pass it off to Rashford's fucking pissed off from him. You can see that on the field, or anyone out to the right, on to Garnacho or whoever the fuck it might be. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I just don't think he has. But I don't know. Maybe that's just his aesthetic, or it's just his presence when I'm watching him on the screen.
I found that myself watching him. He's disappointed me in that way.
He seems
just to compare him to, say, the likes of Cantona, for example. Cantona was all those things that Bruno was.
Yeah.
But he'd also break your fucking leg, and he'd throw digs at you, and he'd jump into the crowd and kick you in the face. Whereas I don't think Bruno has that.
Kung Fu kick you in the face.
No, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. And I don't think he's even comparable to Cantona, and that, like, I don't think,
or even Rooney in that regard, because Rooney will smash your head in.
Yeah. What could it be? Could it be? Times are changing a little bit. There's not as many. Like, if you think about when Keane was captain in United, the amount of egos in the team there, right? You had Beckham, you had there was Cole, York, there was. There was so many big name players.
They were all hard.
But they all would have feared Keane.
Yeah.
Right? Do you think the players do they fear Bruno, or
they don't fear anything anymore.
Or is that
they don't even fear the manager?
Is it that's a problem? Yes, that's a big problem. Yeah. But like, have times changed? If you know what I mean. So captains have changed. Could that be something?
Football has changed. I think. I think that they're not allowed to express themselves. And I don't think managers are allowed to bollock them anymore. I think that players just go off in a huff. The Sancho thing is indicative of that. Sancho's just like, well, if you're going to give out to me and slag me off, I'm going to fuck off.
Who's actually won there?
Nobody. Yeah. It's like, this is the thing. Nobody. And the thing about United which bothers me is, and this was my argument last season with Ten Hag. I love him. I think he's the right man for the job. I do. Time will tell this season, and I might be wrong. But the only other type of managers that can come in and immediately demand that respect from players is the likes of Zidane, who's won everything. If you don't do what I say, you're wrong, because I've won it as a player, I've won it as a manager, someone like that.
Yeah.
But football has changed. Everyone's going, I'm depressed if they get upset.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
But it's a carrot and stick thing. Like, some people are motivated by the carrot, some people are motivated by the stick. And just unfortunately now, especially in English football, because it's an insurance nightmare. Like, even mental health is an insurance nightmare. Like, you don't shout at him. Like, if he's 2 weeks out, like, you're going to have to pay him millions for the fucking time off to do nothing. That's it. Whereas you look at the Irish League and you look at Shelbourne, you look at Damien Duff coming in. Yeah. That's how you manage a squad, like, you know what I mean? That's how you have authority in a dressing room.
And insult the FAI always works.
To get respect. Yeah. Especially among the
fans.
Make
a bit of noise, anyway.
I like the League of Ireland is very exciting again.
Yes.
I love Duffer. I think he's a breath of fresh air. Even when he was doing an interview and someone said, I think it was off the ball or whatever, and someone sat close to him, and at the start of the interview, did you see that? And he was like, he asks a question, and Duffer goes, well, I don't know about that from last night, but you're sitting very close to me there. And it's making me feel a bit uncomfortable, if I'm honest.
I love it.
Say how it is.
Duffer, some man.
Damien, I know this is a Man United, but one last thing about Damien Duff. He was doing a post-match interview, and he goes, I'm delighted to be managing Shelves in the best league in the world. And the interviewer kind of gave a little chuckle at that, like. And then he goes, what are you laughing at? Like, it is the best league, and what are you talking about? Like, what's so funny and stuff? And the man's, oh, sorry, like, no. So he's even putting the fear into fucking interviewers.
He invited that a little bit though as well, didn't he? That's a bit clever. Yeah,
bit of a bait. That
he's kind of gone full Mourinho, hasn't he, in the League of Ireland? I love it.
Yes,
that's what the League of Ireland probably needs as well. Just a little bit of fresh drama.
I think Duffer would be a great coach. Moving on quickly, a couple of different things to talk about. Joe, how do you feel in general about these YouTube channels? United YouTube channels, like the likes of the United Stand, Goldbridge, Stratford Paddock, all these lads. Do you think they help or they hinder the club?
I'm not even aware of them, to be honest with you. I used to work for a betting company, working on their social media, and that's how I kind of came across these people, and they were like, oh, let's get them for some content ideas and stuff, and I was like, who? And then I went on to seeing all the videos, and I know them now, like they all get clipped down and stuff, but that, I don't know if it's my algorithm, but it just doesn't feed me with that stuff, and it should, because I love football, but I just don't get a lot of football content. And these YouTube channels, I think they thrive off when we're losing, and they, like, that's when they make money. They make money when more people are watching, and more people are watching when they're losing, because people would rather watch people suffering than watch people win.
People love to listen to people complain about United.
Do you know what they're like?
Do
you know what they're like? They're like the ooze in Ghostbusters too. You know when they shout at it and it gets off.
Yeah.
Anger, disgusting piece of slime. And you can see them
anger absorption. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. I got not that we're them. I think we approach it from a different point of view. I mean, we're fans and we're not sensationalists for the sake of being it, and we just love watching the club and discussing it. And we try to stay very positive about the things that we talk about. You know, we love it. You know, all aspects of the club.
Yeah, but if we were doing a live stream watching Manchester United versus Brighton and Welbeck scored against us, and
you fucking bastard!
You best believe
that would be our most watched show. There's no question. We should actually consider a live watch, man.
That's why we won't do them, because we'll get cancelled, or we'll say something about the conflict in Palestine or something.
Oh God.
Joe, Man City. Who stops Man City? How do we stop Man City?
By taking them to court and sending them down to the second league. Was it 115 charges?
115 charges, right? And if they got the titles taken away from them, doesn't that leave us with at least one?
Yeah, we'll get the one.
We'll get the one Solskjaer when we were second.
Do you want that? It doesn't feel right.
If it's gonna, if I want it in Spider City, fucking man.
Solskjaer in.
Yeah. Oh, I loved Solskjaer. Who didn't love Solskjaer?
I like Solskjaer. Yeah. But again, he didn't have that gravitas. He didn't have the. I'm afraid of him.
He's too nice.
He's too nice. He's a bit of he has a cuckold vibe about him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, kiss my wife. It's fine.
Yeah. Rashford, you're coming off. No, I'm staying on. Oh yeah, whatever. Yeah, you do your thing.
Go ahead. We're going to talk just very quickly about Steve McClaren and his new sponsorship with Lilt.
Okay,
here comes the Lilt man.
They're going off on him. There's so many memes about him for interviews. Because remember McClaren, he put on the Dutch voice when he was managing FC20. I think it's great that we're playing in this league. Having back in England, it's very similar. Then he did the same thing when he was in Germany with Wolfsburg, and he turned into a Nazi.
Yeah.
And he did something relatively similar because he's managing Jamaica now. Where he's like,
he's just like leaning into their accents. Are you serious?
Yeah, he's like this mimic. You know, people who just put it on when they're talking to people. You know, someone's in New York and then they're in a bar and they're talking to hey buddy, I don't know.
I was in New York for 4 years. I came back after 2 and I was saying like sidewalk and cab and dollar. That's about the maximum I got to it. But like, and then I probably had a bit of a twang, which is And
we're asking people to play catch and stuff. You want to play catch?
I want to play catch.
Let's play some ball.
Yeah,
softball.
That's a spot kick, referee. Come on.
Offense.
Defense.
So
he's just picking up accents then, right?
I wish him well. It's a mad.
It's
McClaren.
It's Steve McClaren.
I do that. You ever go to Spain and you go to the McDonald's and you're like, nah, Big Mac, please.
As you know, last week randomly, I was in Hotel Football and I got interviewed by Gary Neville.
You got interviewed by Gary Neville?
Yeah, I was just there. It was like just very weird Field of Dreams type moment. I'm sitting there drinking a pint in slow motion, and then I get a tap on the shoulder, and I look around, and it's like Gary Neville going, "At this moment in time."
Yeah, he's always saying that. At this moment in time.
At this moment in time, he's like, "Do you want to have a chat?" And I was like, what?
You don't Love Island or something. Do you want to go for a chat?
He had a cameraman and a microphone with him. It wasn't just like, let's be friends.
No, he wasn't like
But he was a bouncer, like, hey, can we have a chat with you over here, please, for a second?
Did he have the word outside on the end of it?
You never chat outside.
Can I see you outside? No, but he was lovely, and he just kind of he interviewed a few people, but it was so bizarre. Hotel football is great.
What's hotel football?
It's the hotel that the class of '92 or a couple of them have bought, and they built it right beside Old Trafford.
Yeah.
And what's really cool about it, and now I've been in it before, but I wasn't in it. I was in it for like a day and a half doing some stuff for this, which will be coming out at a later date. And just what's so lovely about it is the staff are just so down to earth. They were like, I had a bag with some gear and stuff, and they were
Had a bag of gear?
Watch this for me, will you?
Yeah,
Can we have a chat outside?
Yeah. Do me a favour, just stick it on in the car there, bringing it back to Holyhead. And they were just really nice. They had camera gear in bits, and they were like, instead of you can't bring bags into the stadium, and they were like, no, leave it in with us. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. And I was like, well, there's guns in it or whatever. But they were sound and gave me a free pint as well. Because I had a bit of dinner and they brought me over a free pint. Yeah. It's not like they knew who the fuck I was.
No, but it's still nice.
But
that goes a long way.
But here's a lovely story as well about them, which is so lovely. I couldn't believe this, and I was wondering if I'd encountered that when I was there. But a friend of my girlfriend's, they brought their son to Old Trafford, and they were stitched up. They were scammed out of tickets. And the little kid was very upset, as you'd imagine. And they went into hotel football and just to have a drink and get away from it all. And they couldn't get in.
Is it actually called hotel football?
It is, yeah. It's everything is hotel.
Creative. Everything is hotel.
Well done,
themed.
Gary. Well done, class of '92.
No, everything is football themed everywhere. It's mad. And they went in, and the staff gave them a couple of free tickets for the match.
Go away, did they?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. How cool is that?
That's really nice.
Isn't that lovely?
Cool. Yeah.
And they were really nice. And it's just so bizarre to see like Steve Bruce walking around, and he was with his nose. and
I think it was him.
Was
You
he,
couldn't
was
see
he
behind
holding
his
it
nose.
or?
yeah, he had like one of the the little cards on the beer mats. And Nicky Butt was there, and like Talk Sport was recording there as well. With, Andy Goldstein, and everyone was just so nice, and you could just talk to them as they were passing by.
I remember when you put into the chat, you're like, I've just been interviewed by Gary Neville, and we were all rushing, and then it was on like within the hour. I think it was on, wasn't it? It was on within the hour. Yeah,
it was just a surreal, lovely thing where I was talking honestly about what I think this season. I'd be happy with, as I was saying, top 4. I'd be happy with, a Europa League win. And it pains me to say, because the last time we won the Europa League, I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. We kind of need it. We kind of need it now, I think,
Now I'm like, yes. Give me this most stupid looking trophy in football.
The Conference League, anything. The Europa Conference.
Mama. So I hope we win that and we get top 4, and I'd be delighted. Where are you with that? What's a successful season for United?
Another FA Cup.
Yeah.
Top 3.
Okay.
Won't settle for 4th because I don't want that scrap. I hate the fucking end of the season scrapping for the fucking Champions League spot.
Villa.
That's good. That's good point, though, Joe. Yeah, like you feel like if you scrape 4th, you're going into the following season. Oh, are we gonna finish 5th or 6th? But if you're in 3rd, you're going into the next season thinking to yourself, yeah, we could probably definitely get into a top 4 now.
We are worthy of top 4 with those players. I think now we have to be. We have to be.
Let's see how it all comes together this season. I think
Okay,
I'm confident.
I don't know who we're gonna beat. I can't see us getting past Man City, obviously. I can't see us getting past.
Unless it's cup final.
Yeah.
It's cup final day, unless it's Charity Shield.
Unless we play the false 9.
Yeah.
Johnny Evans taking a penalty. What the fuck?
I know. When he was walking up, I was like,
I knew it.
Johnny Pirlo Evans. Don't do it.
But yeah, I can't see us getting past anyone. I can't see us getting past Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool. Like, who are we gonna be to get into the top 4?
Like, who can we be home?
Spurs can't be Spurs.
Who out of those top 4 or 6 teams are we guaranteed to win either home and away all of those top 6 teams?
Would you both say then that on the day we wouldn't have a chance to beat City because we've a more strengthened squad.
It's
now.
not them. It's the Burnleys. It's the Brentfords.
That's where we need to make the difference.
If we don't do that this year, if we don't drag results out like we did against Fulham and play reasonably well.
Yeah.
Now look. Let's hope that we're not fucking absolutely, decimated by injuries again. And we were very unlucky, in fairness.
And we still are. We already are, you man. YOLO, whatever the fuck his name.
Yo-yos. Be in and out of the squad.
Yeah. Fucking hell, man! Like that's brutal.
Yeah.
What a brutal start.
At least it stopped. Hopefully, at least it stopped after that. You know what I mean? Because last season it was just injury after injury after injury, and you're just thinking to yourself, "Oh Jesus," But I think it's hopefully now before you get your man Ugarte in, and then
Who the fuck is this bloke? Like, everyone's like, Ugarte.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Just a fucking defensive midfielder.
I watched some of his stuff on YouTube there the other week, and he's a decent ball winner.
You say that like he's a singer-songwriter. I watched some of his stuff on YouTube.
I was like, best moments Ugarte, and I think we're saying that name right, aren't we? Yeah, he's a decent ball winner and all of that. Like, he is, but he's not getting his game for PSG, is he? No. Right? Now he's secluded now because he wants to come to United, but he wasn't getting his game before, I don't think.
Look, he's a utility player. I think they want to back up in case McTominay goes, and Hannibal's gone as well, as far as I know.
But if Ugarte, Casemiro, McTominay, right, all in the midfield, and then you got Mainu, Fernandes, and like, I'd be happy with that as a squad. Like, we're talking about squads now. I think now, you know what I mean, rather than like, you know, the first 15.
I'm happy with the way things are going, and I'm happy the way that we're, you know, there's business being done at the start and not every panic buys like we were doing before. So let's move on. There's a couple of questions coming in from listeners and fans of the show. Let's have a little listen in and see what people have to ask.
Hey Paul, I've got a question for Joe. So in my head, Joe's like proper dub, and my question for him is, who is Manchester United's greatest dub? Because if I think back of the Irish players who played for United in the last while, a lot of people from Cork and Waterford, the south of the country, that come to mind. But if we go back a bit further, I suppose one of the real dubs to play for United was Kevin Moran. And that maybe brings me to my second question. If a member of the United squad was to come over and have a bit of a kick around in an amateur game in front of 80,000 people in Croke Park, say, for the Dublin team, doesn't have to be from Dublin, which member of the current United squad do you think does Joe think would be best suited to a bit of Gaelic football?
Thanks a million, Sean. That's Sean from Galway, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you,
Joseph.
I don't know any Dubliners that played for Man United.
I do, but before my time. Like Frank Stapleton, I suppose.
Stapleton and Moran.
Tony Dunn, who won the European Cup with United. But none in living memory. Let's just say...
I'm going to go with Stapleton because he's the only one I know. I don't even know Kevin Moran. No.
Well,
I'm like, I hope I don't sound like an idiot by saying this.
I don't know who Kevin Moran is.
Kevin Moran was the first name came to mind.
Kevin Moran.
My dad was a fan ages ago.
Same thing when kids. When I was a kid, and he got sent off in the cup final. He was obviously a great player too. What current player would you like to have a kickabout with?
In terms of a
Gaelic kickabout,
it'd have to be a goalkeeper because they can use their hands, right?
Yeah, I would say. Imagine Onana. Andre. He'd be lethal. He'd be lethal. He's brilliant with his feet.
If he could catch the ball.
Yeah. Well, he might be able to punch it away uncomfortably, you know, while flooring another player.
Okay, let's move on because we've a few of these to get through.
Who's the best player from the island of Ireland to represent Manchester United? Take into account their playing ability, their attitude, position, fitness, years of service, and
best Irish general player.
Compare and contrast those things.
Mal Donaghy.
Who's got a better play?
We're skipping ahead there. Whoa, everyone calm down. Everyone just relax.
George Best, no?
He is Irish, technically.
The first name came to my mind as well was George Best.
Georgie, they call him the Belfast boy.
I mean, you know, not consistently, or like, you know, if he, like, potentially, if he was in peak health on his day, him.
You'd have him in.
It'd have to be him.
It would have, like, I mean, another name that came to mind would be, he said the island of Ireland, would, like, Roy Keane.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the first thing that I was going to go to. But then I was like, if George Best was in his peak, I think he would be better.
I think
he was a genius.
He's one of the few players, I think, that in general, generationally, people mention him because of the because of the mythology of him.
Yeah.
You know? So I think you have.
He was a god, man.
I think in most United starting 11s, if you're looking at it, like if it's measured by the entirety of the club, you'd have to put. I think he'd go in there, and he'd go in there ahead
out of all of the players on the island of Ireland. I said that right. He would be certainly the most talented. I like the most, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like him, but the most gifted.
Naturally gifted.
Naturally the best player,
Yeah.
Irish player we've ever had.
But then he was talking about like longevity and fitness levels and stuff. Definitely Roy Keane then.
Yeah, probably.
But like
Well,
on
he
his
got injured
day,
towards the end, Roy, didn't he? He had
I'm going to
issues
play
towards the
devil's
end.
advocate here and say Dennis Irwin because he was
Oh,
just
great shout.
and you know
Great shout.
yeah, he was just like in terms of even Keane had a couple of off games, but Irwin for me was
He was
much
always
more
the first
consistent.
name, wasn't he?
Okay, let's move on. Hi caller. Who else have we got here?
Who's got a better flying kick, Eric Cantona or Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Eric Cantona, come on. Jean-Claude Van Damme never had to jump over the signage board like an advertising.
Jean-Claude Van Damme doesn't leave marks on people's chests either.
Why you guys try to hurt me?
That's a great question.
Next time, be more careful when you show your wallet. That's a great question. Yeah. I would say Jean-Claude Van Damme because there's kids listening.
And there's more consistency with his flying kicks, whereas, you know, it could have been one lucky shot with Cantona.
Yeah.
Like never tried it again.
He was wearing studs as well, let's not forget. They're heavy. Back in the day, they were heavy, you know.
Yeah.
And he was tired. He was running for a while. That was like in the second half, I think.
Yeah, it was. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
The Jean-Claude Van Damme would be too much, I think.
Good question.
Great question there, Liam from Galway. And thanks to Keith as well from Derry. Who else have we got here?
How are you, Joe? First of all, I'd like to give you props for the short film that you made. I think it's a conversation that's long overdue in Ireland. My question is, as an Aston Villa fan, bearing in mind that Aston Villa finished above United for the first time in the Premier League era last season, which player would you take from the Aston Villa team if you would put them into the United team? Now, bear in mind, you can't have them all. I know you would if you could, but you can't. Apologies if this sounds like it's recorded in the toilet.
You called it.
What does he say? Hang on.
Apologies if this sounds like it's recorded in the toilet. It actually is. I'm in a hotel in Rome and my missus is
in a hotel in Rome and my missus is asleep.
Who's Ollie Watkins play for?
Villa.
Yeah. Ollie Watkins all day long. Like that's exactly the type of player that Manchester United needs is a fucking Ollie Watkins.
I'd love him for United.
Without question.
I'd love him for United.
Hands down.
I think he'd be great. Like, if not start obviously because I like what we have when people are fit. But yeah, I'd go the same. Ollie Watkins or Dwight York.
Yeah.
Let's rob him again.
Yeah.
I feel I have a few really strong fucking players, don't he?
Is it the current squad? Was that
I guess so.
Yeah.
Is Antonio, or is he West Ham?
West Ham, I think.
Oh, okay.
Same
colours. Yeah. Ollie Watkins is one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another one here.
So with this current squad at United, pretty strong, definitely enough to to give most teams this year a run for their money. How that goes over the whole season is a different story. So I suppose my question is, after we get one or two more in, we're talking about Ugarte or our midfielder, and I'm still looking at trying to get a left back in. Do you think it's still going to take a year or two for United to challenge for the title? Things don't happen quickly, but at the same time, when United get on a run, or if they did, anything's possible in the next year or two. So how do you think we're going to do? Are we going to do it quickly, or are we going to take another year or two to get there?
Oh, that's a rhetorical question, Joe.
I think it's not going to go well. This is my prediction. I think it's going to not go well. Ten Hag's going to get the sack. Somebody else is going to come in. We're going to start from scratch all over again, and it'll be another 4 years, and we'll be having this same conversation in 4 years' time. That's my prediction.
Yeah, welcome to the special Let's All murder suicide ourselves episode of the podcast. And you know what? Like start of the season, I'm usually a little bit more optimistic than normal. The rot hasn't set in yet. But look, let's be honest. It's probable that the same shit's going to happen again, isn't it?
Should have that shit. Like, it's the start of the season. We should be in a better position with a squad than we are right now.
Yeah.
And that's on Ten Hag. So we'll see where we are in January. And I think there's going to be serious questions asked then.
Yeah, I think we have... Sorry, a bit late. Is it too late? If not yet, here's a younger listener, another Sean. Let's get this in quickly.
Hi, Paul. My question for Joe would be, what's his all-time five-a-side Manchester United team?
Love it. Ooh.
Great question.
Good question,
Really
Sean.
good question.
My man.
Yeah.
Stick Edwin van der Sar in the net. Stick for a five-a-side. I'm going to go with Wayne Rooney. I think he's a really good close footballer.
Street footballer.
Yeah, good baller up the front.
That's two.
And why not have a look at Ronaldo beside him or behind him? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Have a
why
fuck
not?
with Ronaldo around there.
Fat Ronaldo or...
He's probably... He'll take him fat skinny. Give him a McDonald's beforehand. He'll be alright. Valencia.
Oh.
Out on the right.
Okay.
Paul Scholes in the middle.
Okay.
And that's four, is it?
That's about 8.
Am I at the picking about 8 there?
No, I think that's 4. Yeah. Van der Sar, Scholes, Valencia, and Rooney, and Ronaldo. So that's 5.
That's the 5.
Ah, well, okay.
No,
I'm missing a
defenders in there.
Yeah, no, I'm missing a defender.
You know, I
24-24 draw for Joe's five-a-side team.
You can go with no defenders. You can just be all offense, man.
Yeah, but that's like yeah. Small,
Rather than
goal.
all defense.
Damo, who would you put in?
Fly keeper, boys.
Yeah. Fly keeper.
I'd have to say, because this doesn't mean, this is my second time mentioning Andre Onana. It doesn't mean I'm a massive fan yet, but the guy's good with his feet, so I'd put him in goal, right?
Yeah.
I'd probably have Diogo Dolo.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I like him. I'd probably have him. I'd have to have Rooney for the same reasons. Yeah, street baller. Probably Kane, because I just love Kane. How many's that? 4. And
my striker in there as well.
Well, he has Rooney, but
Ruud van Nistelrooy probably. Oh no! Can I go back? Can I change it?
Of course you can.
no.
Tevez.
Oh, Kettleneck. You'd put Kettleneck in there.
Oh, but him and Rooney. Do you remember him and Rooney?
That was
They were
sexy.
amazing.
Remember
That
him
was
and
sexy,
Rooney?
yeah.
That was some of the best football we've ever played.
That was pretty.
Yeah.
They were, look, in fairness, I think I was more upset about Tevez leaving at that time than I was about a lot of players leaving.
Yeah, no, I probably shouldn't have picked Tevez based on the fact that he went to Man City afterwards. But
No
yeah,
loyalty.
but I want to win, and I think he would probably, you know.
Yeah. Let me just see if there's any more here, and then we'll release Joe out into the wild again. No, that's it, I think.
Good questions.
Yeah, great questions. Thanks, guys. And if you want to send more questions in generally to us, or we'll always give you a briefing of if there's any special guests such as Joe coming in the future, you can send it on to info@thecultofcantona.com, and then we'll repurpose them on the show, which is really great. Joe, I'll just ask you one burning question before you go.
I hope I can answer it. I feel so unqualified coming on here and talking about Man United.
No,
Like, there's so many more knowledge.
Held your own beautifully, Joe.
We're
Can't wait to get through this question and just go,
Should Sammy Smodux have signed from Manchester United this year?
I mean, I think he has good form. Sammy, I've always been a big fan of Sammy Smodux, and
Grab him by the Sammy Smodux. No, I'm kidding. No.
16 minutes.
Look, just in terms of our striker problem at the moment, would you go Ivan Toney, or would you like to see Evan Ferguson in there playing for United?
Evan Ferguson.
Yeah.
I think Ivan Toney's a bit stiff, whereas Evan Ferguson can kind of fall back. I think he could rotate. You could play a better false 9 with him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's why I think Evan Ferguson would be really...
He's a big lump as well. You need someone just kind of in there, don't you?
Yeah. Fuck around on the corners, like.
He's messing
right now, if you know to get a corner, you're just like, oh, come on, can I fast forward this bit?
Yeah.
You know, this is bleeding. Like, kids playing against...
What age is Evan Ferguson?
He's still only about 24.
He's still about
23 even.
23.
He's really young.
He'd be a good one for the future then as well,
and a Bettystown lad as well, so, up to Bettystown. Guys, thanks very much for watching. Joe, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks Joe, for having me on.
Come on, United.
You're a breath of really fresh air in this horrible, stale sweatbox of
Fuck off, it's lovely.
Yeah, you can't tell how hot it is in here, but we're like, it's very hot.
Damien Lumsden, thank you so much as per usual.
Come on, United.
You can get us online. You can see all of our tags below. Listen to Joe's podcast, the 150 million people that already do. And if you'd like to support this show, there's a couple of different ways you can do that. First of which is you can share it with a friend. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, and you can listen on Spotify. And if you're feeling really extra generous, because he said he's going to become a member on buymeacoffee.com.
Yeah, Joe.
Just buy us a fucking coffee, lad.
Just buy us a coffee. buymeacoffee.com/cult of Cantona. Until next time, glory, glory, Man United.
Come on, United.
Glory, glory. Glory be to the Cantona.
Give us this
day.
Give us this day our daily blend. Thanks for listening, guys. All the best.